It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you on Saturday, August 16th at 11:25 p.m. So I made it before 11:30 again. Couple of quick announcements. The in-color sale, the 2025 to 2027 in-color products from Stampin' Up! Are 15% off, and they will be on sale through the end of August. So if you don't have yours, take a look. If you go to my online store and do shop by color, you can select the 2025 to 2027 group of products. There's just a boatload of stuff on sale. For the first 5 or maybe 6 customers, because I do have 6 of these, that order $35 worth of product with me before the end of the month, I will gift you a free full-size ink pad of cloud cover. This is available only to demonstrators because there is a color issue. The ink apparently for some of the batches reacted with the foam pad, so Stampin' Up! Is not releasing them to customers because they're just not happy with the quality of some of the ink pads. They don't know which ones are affected, so these might be good. They might be a slightly different color, but everybody that I've heard from is happy with their color. All right. Next thing, if you're local to me, this coming Wednesday, August 20th, I'm doing Coffee and a Card at Kat's Coffee House. We're starting at 10. We go for a couple of hours so I can get cleaned up before she wants to close up shop for the day. Come join me. We're going to be making birthday cards with coordinating gift tags. And last but not least of my announcements, celebration is going away. So we will not have a celebration in January and February, as has been past practice. What we are having, though, is Stampin' Up! Is launching a new program that's going to have a product of the month. You can snatch up your product of the month for $5, and it's valued at more than $5, by placing a product order of $75 or more. So let's say January, when the first product of the month is going to be available. If you place your $75 order, you can, if you want, add that product of the month. If you don't want it, no big deal. You don't have to order it. It's not an automatic thing. Let's say you only order $60, you don't qualify. But let's say in February, you really like the February one, you placed your $75 order, you want to get that February item. Super, get it. If you see the January product is still available, you can order that one, but you have to have a separate $75 order. All right. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know what the products are going to be at this point. I don't know if demonstrators will have a sneak peek, but if I get any clues, I will pass along what I'm able to. Today, I am going to do a paper pumpkin kit. My kit came today, and my guest stamper is with us for the weekend. We had a busy day. We took the kids to county fair in an adjacent county to us. We had this just a few hours before we were getting more storms. So we got their fair food in, we got their rides in, we made it out of the fair before we got rained on. So it was a good day, but we were all pretty tired. So my guest stamper and I did make a couple of the cards from this, and we did record a video, and she got through 2 of the cards. Aren't these adorable? So here is her card following the instructions from here. And I don't usually do my paper pumpkins for my late night videos because I know I have some people that follow from like Australia and paper pumpkin isn't available there yet. I apologize. But I needed something simple because I needed something simple. It was a long, tiring day, but a fun day. So my guest stamper and I did this card today, and it's always a hoot stamping and crafting with a 7.5-year-old, and she loves doing the videos and she loves being the star of the show. So she's starting to loosen up a lot more. So it gets a little crazy. This was the first one she made. She didn't quite line up the typewriter, but I think it's still an adorable card. Okay, so I'm going to go through and just show you quickly how those are made, because they do go really pretty quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this card as well. So I'm going to show you, so I can get them out of the way, the coordinating envelopes. So there are 9 cards, so you get enough envelopes for every card. And the flaps are already decorated to coordinate with the designs. So you don't have to worry about naked envelopes. Okay, I'm going to set those out of the way. This is a month that Stampin' Up! Gives us a bonus stamp set. So this one is the bonus set. And there's some really cute sentiments. It's got the teapot with the little flowers that can come out of the teapot. You're simply the best. Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear. Always here for you and for a great friend. Now I have started putting the month and the year on my stamp set, so if they get separated, I kind of know where it goes. And after I'm done putting my kits together, I put them in little plastic sleeves, so I can keep any extra parts and the stamp sets together rather than having boxes and boxes sitting around. They do make great shipping boxes though, so I do keep some of them. But this is a step that actually goes with the kit. So we've got the floral, we've got a little border print for you. Thank you. Just a note, you are loved. To say, forever your friend. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. And hello. So you can see, to make these cards, we've used several of these. So I'm going to set those off to the side as well. Kind of clean up my clutter a little bit. And I am just going to quickly go through kind of what the instructions do. So if we go to basically like one of the last pages, they'll tell you what you need for card 1, what you need for card 2, and what you need for card 3. Okay, so I'm going to start with the typewriter one, just because they've got that one listed as 3, but I'm going to end with number 1, so I'm just going to go backwards. So we're going to do the typewriter, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish this. Now, when you get these kits, it has everything you need in the kit, except for a block, and if you need snips or a bone folder, but all of the supplies you need. So all the little die cuts, all the little sentiment pieces, all the little accent pieces. If you need adhesives, that's in the kit. If you need, if they're stamping, you get the stamp set, plus you get an ink spot. And the ink spots, you will not have a repeat in a calendar year. So you will get 12 different colors when you're stamping, when you're doing the Paper Pumpkin subscription. And then if there's twine or some kind of embellishment, that will be included as well. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do here with this one is it tells me what pieces I need. So I need the card. I need a typewriter. I need a sheet of paper. So I'm going to move these kind of out of the way. I need some yellow flowers. And I need one of the single Calypso coral flowers. Hopefully I won't lose any of these on the floor. I need the sprig stamp. So I've got that. I need the border stamp, because that's showing me here. And it tells me I need a block. All right. The dimensionals, they'll show you if it's a dimensional or a glue dot. You'll see a circle for a glue dot, and here you've got that little hexagon that shows us that it's a dimensional. And these happen to be the mini dimensionals. Okay. So also then on the very back of the instructions, there is an add-on die set that you can order. This is the second year Stampin' Up! Has been doing these, and these are really fun die sets. So they coordinate with the 3 months of a quarter. So we had one for January, February, March, another one for April, May, and June. This is for July, August, and September. So there's an acorn or a strawberry. There's an oak leaf, there's a flower, there's just a circle die. It's really cute. It's like a stitched circle die. And then there's some, the strawberry top is in here. You can just add some texture. There's a little flower in here. So I'm using the flower and the circle on my alternate. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. We'll cover that in a minute. So once we get inside our instructions then, there's almost always a ruler on the side. So if you have to measure off any twine or anything, that's there. But we're going to start with this one, because that's the third card. We're going backwards. And I like to use my full-size ink pad just because it's a little easier for me to handle. And then I save my ink spots and I can share those with some of my customers or at events. So I'm going to go ahead. It says to stamp the foliage piece and stamp the words. So I'm going to stamp the words first so that I can kind of get that in the middle. So this is to say thank you. And I'm just going to lightly tap that on there. And we'll just put that kind of in the middle. And I like to hold my block on there for just a few seconds so the ink can soak into the paper. That looks very nice. And then we'll take our little sprig. Now you could always do a different color if you wanted, but I'm just doing the instructions, just per the instructions. So we're going to put that one here, and then we'll re-ink. I got a little light there, but it'll be fine. They know it's homemade. I try not to rock my stamps, and I probably just didn't have enough pressure on the whole stamp. And I usually, when I've got my photopolymer, I usually use my Stampin' Pearson mat, because that gives just a little extra cushion. All right, so that looks pretty good. We'll get that out of the way. And we're done with the inside. All right, so that's cute. So on the outside now, let me just burnish this a little bit more so it lays flatter. There we go. We have a little bit more stamping. We're going to put this border, hopefully you can see that. We're going to put this border across our typewriter. All right, so let's go ahead and ink that up. And I think I'm going to get my Pearson mat here so that we have some good cushion. All right, so, and it basically goes in just a little bit from the edge. And then it's going to overlap a little bit. And I don't have to worry about matching up the design because that's going to be covered. But it ends a little before the edge. All right. And then the next step is, here we've got our card. It's telling us to fold it. I had already folded it, obviously, but that's in the instructions. And then I also need to stamp the just a note. Here we go. Riley was trying to read these earlier and she had it backwards and I said, yeah, turn it over. Turn it over. No, turn it over. And she finally got it so she could read it. It was kind of funny. All right, so we're going to put just a note on the top edge of our little piece of paper here. And this is going to go in the slit that is already done for us. All right. And then the instructions tell us to put the dimensionals basically at the top corners on our piece of paper. And I think my Fitbit just died. It was vibrating my wrist. And then we're just going to put 4 around here. Oops. Take that one off. And we are almost done with this card. I haven't quite gotten myself coordinated enough to take the backings off when I place them with my Take Your Pick tool, but I'm getting there. All right, so this is going to go right on top of the other typewriter. It just kind of gives it some dimension. And I'm going to go up just a smidge just so you can see a little bit of the outline of the typewriter, but you can see around the edges that shows. That's really cute. And then we're going to go ahead and put a couple of dimensionals on this flower. Let's see if I can lift. I can't. I'm not coordinated enough yet. But this should not be on the glass piece. I'll put that right there. And this one, we're going to put, looks like over here. And then we'll put a couple of dimensionals here. And that will go over here. And the directions show it over the edge of the paper, like the flowers are just coming over the whole thing. And that's our card. Isn't that cute? What a fun little note card to just send to a friend. Hey, you know, just a note to say thank you. Or you could put any other, you know, sentiment in here to say, and then don't even put the thank you, because those are two different pieces. So you could just put the to say and maybe put these branches off to the side, and then you could put your message in there. But how cute is that? And then you've got the coordinating envelope, and it's ready to go. I love it. All right, so let's do number 2 is the flower bag. So let's go ahead here. And this is telling us, oh, Riley and I didn't do this. We didn't put the words on the inside. So let me grab those. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. I know exactly who I can send this one to. So let's take this one off. And will that fit on a regular block? It will. All right. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. What a neat sentiment. And then this one is going to have those sprigs above and below as well. Nice. And our sprig is here. I think I'm going to do just my sprig here and leave it at that. I could put another one down here, but then it's going to be, I'd have to turn it over, and maybe I'll do that. That might look good. I'll just put it over here without the branch. I like that. That's nice. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish this, because that's all we need to do on the inside. And then on the front, we're going to put that same little border across the front. And that doesn't go all the way to the end either. This stamp is actually designed so that it can be interlocking, basically. So if you continue it, you could make a nice pattern repeating itself without having to worry about lining things up. And again, I'm not worried about the overlap here, although that did turn out quite nicely. And then I need one of these. And that's going to say, for you. And this is going to get a piece of twine. And it says the twine should be about 12 inches. I could use that wrapper, the instructions, but I'm just going to use my glass mat because that works. And I am going to maybe do this just a little bit different. When we did it with Riley, we wrapped it around and just did a simple bow. But I'm going to make like I don't know, a little eyelet or something. I don't know what you call that. It's some kind of knot. And we'll put that on. These I don't need just yet. So let's go to these pieces. We need the purse and a bunch of dimensionals there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you probably can't see that, but I'm looking right here. And then our little tag here, we need 1 just at the cornered side, not the circular side. And we need the double yellow flowers. And we need the double calypso coral flowers. And I think I can close up my ink so that I don't make a mess. And we'll put a couple of dimensionals on here. And then we need the single calypso coral flower, and that shows it with 3 dimensionals. Which I suppose, I would have thought 2 would have been enough, or 1 big one. But they gave us 3 and said to use, or they gave us some mini ones and said to use 3. So the other thing then is on the handle. It's saying here to cut one of the dimensionals in half. So let's go ahead and do that. And get it off my snips here. I'll use tweezers. And the rest of the handle is just going to be loose. All right, so I think that's all the dimensionals we need. And I lost my live feed. There we go. I was hoping something didn't break on here. All right, so let's go ahead and put the bag on. I think these are just really cute. So this will layer on here. And then the handle, I guess I can get that off with my fingers instead of the take your pick tool. I tell you, my take your pick tool, though, it really comes in handy. So this is going to go here. I need to move this piece in a little bit more, though. It's hanging over the edge. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. All right. And that just gives it a little more dimension. We're going to put the single calypso coral flower here in the middle. There's actually kind of a shadow there for it. Excuse me. So we'll put that, I guess, kind of like this, huh? Oh, it's got it this way. There we go. Now the shadow matches. Just read the instructions. Okay, and then we'll take these other calypso coral ones, and it looks like those are coming over here. And I'm trying not to put the dimensionals on the bag because I don't want it to be super thick, because then the post office sometimes tells us we need more postage. And then these are going to come up over here. How cute is that? And then this becomes our sentiment for the front. And that's just going to come here. And I'm putting it again so the dimensional is over the edge of the bag. And this I'm just going to slide right under the handle. And we're going to give that a nice little knot. actually a bow. Oops. And I tie my bows upside down because then the tails seem to do better with where I want them to go. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed or if that's just the way the layers go. So if you're ever having trouble with your bows, just not flipping the way you want them to, try to tie them upside down. That might help. And there's that card. All done. Isn't that adorable? Again, I love them. And then again, we've got that coordinating envelope that goes with that little border design. All right, so let's do this last one for the kit, and then I'm going to kind of do it my way. So here's this one. This is the one that my granddaughter didn't get finished on her recording. So we need to do part 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and score this. Oops, we're losing flowers here. All right. So on the inside, we're going to do "You Are Loved." I don't think I took that off my stamp sets. "You Are Loved." I didn't. We're using almost every stamp that came with this set. I did that with, I think the Stay Warm one. I think I used every stamp in that set. That doesn't always happen to me either. So we're going to do "You Are Loved" right about here. And then we're going to take that sprig again. And it's got it going like that, but I really kind of like it this way instead. So it's your card. Do it however you want. I think I'm going to put this one down here again like I did with the other one. It just looks more appealing to my eyes. All right, and I didn't mean to get ink on there, but that's fine. All right, next, let's make sure I've got this opening the right way. I'm going to burnish this one more time. And we are going to take that border and we're going to stamp it several times. And it's going to go basically from edge to edge. Kind of overlapped. I think we'll go in a little bit. Maybe not. And it has us doing it, oh, a little closer together. Oh well. There. Alrighty, and then we need to do "Thank You" on here. And let's see, I thought I had "Thank You" out here for you. Here we go. Nope. To say "Thank You," we'll take the "to say" off of here. Thank you. Very cute. Let's just put that back on there. So it'll be ready for the next time. All right. So then we're going to take this window pane piece. Isn't that pretty? The way it's colored, it looks like it's kind of a water painted, but it looks dimensional. So we're going to put our dimensionals on the back of there. Now it says just 5. That doesn't seem like a whole lot to me because these are the mini ones. So I'm going to put just a few extras, I think. They're small, and there's enough. All right. So let's take those backings off. There we go. And see, some of where it overlapped, it doesn't even show, so it doesn't matter very much. And then here we're going to put 2 dimensionals on the straight edge. This video may go a little quicker than some of my others. I don't have any other late night owls with me right now. And this is going to come right up here. And the dimensionals, again, you want them over the edge so that you don't have that extra thickness. And that just hangs loose. I don't think I'm happy with that. I'm going to put a little dollop of glue, because I don't want it floating around. You don't want to use another dimensional though, because it'll make it too thick. All right, and this is saved for another time. So that's that card, all done. And that was less than, what, maybe about 20 minutes, maybe, that we did 3 cards. So let me pull those in here. Aren't these just adorable? I love them. And then you've got the coordinating envelopes for all of them. So now what I'm going to do is an alternate card for this one here that I just finished up with. And the thing about Paper Pumpkin is we never know for sure what's going to be in the kit. We get some sneak peeks of some of the elements, but not all of what's going to be in the kit. All right. So if you don't like surprises, you probably don't want Paper Pumpkin, but the kits collection might be more your thing, because those you do get to see everything that's in the kit before you buy it. Okay. Paper Pumpkin, you subscribe and it's a surprise. So what I did with these pieces is I cut this layer in half. This is just such a nice layer, and it's, you probably can't see it on the camera, but it's a little speckled. It's pretty cool. And I used this extra die set, and I cut out a bunch of the flowers in Calypso Coral, because that's what's over here. I used this hello, and I put it in the fresh freesia, and I cut 3 of them. We're going to stack those so it's a little thicker. And then I took this circle die. Now this is an add-on, so it doesn't come with your subscription, but only Paper Pumpkin subscribers can get these. So I used this circle, and I pulled in some vellum. Now I still have some Stampin' Up! Vellum, even though Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell it anymore. It's just such a nice product. And I'm glad I had a little bit of a stash. So here's where I'm pulling in some of my old stuff. So I cut these out ahead of time, but I also used the adhesive sheets. So I put adhesive on one side of my fresh freesia. I didn't do it on the first one. I thought, oh, wait a minute. If I'm going to stack these, I want to use some adhesive. So I put it on what will be the back. I put the die on the front and then just ran it through so that these have now become stickers, essentially. All right. So the one without that, I'm going to use to affix to my card. But then these others, I'm going to peel off the backing, and we're going to put them together. Hopefully this will go pretty easy. You just never know. It's sticking to my fingers. There we go. So you want to kind of line it up and press it as you go. Hopefully you can see me working. Hopefully I wasn't off camera. All right, so that's one layer. I just wanted these a little bit thicker. All right. It gives a little dimension, but then it also just makes it a little stronger because these are really thin lines. And if it's going to set off my card at all, I want to make sure that it's going to be substantial enough to survive. All right. So that's all ready to go. And with these flowers, what I thought I would do is, this is my extra half. So I guess I could explain that too. So when I cut these in half, I cut one half of it down to a layer size. And then I pulled in an old favorite, my deckled rectangles. These were retired in December. They had been in an annual catalog and they were so popular they kept them on as an online exclusive. And then they finally discontinued them because they can't keep carrying everything just because people like it. They have to change things out. But since this piece was already kind of deckled like that, I thought I could either tear the layer or use the deckled rectangle. So I opted to pull out these from my stash. So I've already done that. And then I pulled in some Lost Lagoon because Lost Lagoon is one of the colors on here. And with the instructions with Paper Pumpkin too, let me go to that. I didn't mention that before. There is a listing here that tells you what it does. We've got 9 cards and 9 envelopes, right? So that's if you do it just like the kit's done. But the Stampin' Up! Coordinating colors are also listed on here. Now for this kit, they didn't list all of them. Fresh Freesia was not on there, all right? Calypso Coral's on there, Darling Duckling, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Secret Sea. But this looks like it could be Poppy Parade. Or it could be Real Red or even Cherry Cobbler. All right, and then we've got the Fresh Freesia. The green is not listed, so that looks like some Mossy Meadow or some Old Olive to me. So there are other colors. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue in these, and I'm going to layer these just to make them look fuller. Now the other thing I did with these is I took my Take Your Pick tool and I pushed in the centers, and then that just gives them a little bit more dimension. All right, and I think what I want to do is keep the back one flat maybe and just have the top one with some curve to it. So just a little bit of glue, you don't need a whole lot. These, like I said, were from the dies that are an add-on, and there's slits in them. So if you put too much glue, it's going to seep through. All right, so just be aware of that. We had storms here again. Some pretty heavy-duty thunder. Obviously some lightning, but I didn't notice it from inside. But we had some beautiful sky colors too when we went outside to check on the chickens. We had pink and blue, and it was quite pretty. I was going to take a picture, but I didn't go back out in time. Alrighty, so let's see where we're at here. So I've got my Lost Lagoon. This little piece will be if I want to make another one later. So let's go ahead and burnish this. And I'm going to go ahead and put this, I think I'm going to put those together and lift both of these. So I'm going to glue this together. I only partially planned this ahead of time. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And that glue gives me a little bit of wiggle room. All right. So then we can go ahead and put some dimensionals on here. And I'm going to go ahead and use big dimensionals just because this is a bigger piece. There's a lot of surface to cover. I'm not sure what I did with the cover to my pokey tool here. It'll turn up. I know it's here somewhere. Riley and I had it. All right. So then the other half of the card, I'm going to go ahead and use those decal dies, and I will do a layer for the inside. I'll do that later so that I don't really waste everybody's time. And then I'm just going to put this piece of vellum on here with the hello. And I could have actually put adhesive on the back of there had I been thinking ahead. But I'm going to use my Stamp and Seal, and you are going to see that with vellum, the Stamp and Seal is relatively invisible. All right, and then we'll put some glue on the back of here, because it's really, these are so narrow. None of our foam adhesives are narrow enough for this. What I could have done, we do have foam sheets, and I could have put my Fresh Freezer right on the foam sheet and die cut that. And you wouldn't think that it would work because the foam seems too thick, but it works like a dream. I might have to do that for another version of the card. We're just going to put this on our vellum. And we're going to put some of these on here. We're just going to kind of carry along that theme, and we're going to make kind of a little bouquet. Yeah, I think I'll put them up here. Little bouquet of some extra flowers. Maybe put a couple down here. I cut out 8 of them just for kicks because I wasn't really sure how many I was going to use, but since they're here, I'm going to use them. And then this one will just kind of tuck under here. And then I also brought in, this is a current product. These are the party dots, but they are on the last chance list. So if you like these, they're flat, they're matte, and I think this might be Pretty in Pink or Bubblegum. This looks like it's soft seafoam maybe, or no, it's probably Summer Splash. And this looks like maybe a Daffodil Delight. I'm not even sure, but I'm going to go ahead and use Daffodil Delight. I did find the cap to this. So we're going to put some yellow centers in all of our flowers. So when you've got kits like this, just start cutting stuff up and creating. Use your stash. Use new stuff. Doesn't matter. And then I think what I'll do, because a little shimmer is always fun, I am going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. And I'm going to put a little Wink of Stella on this jar. And we'll put a little bit on our teapot here. So here's that extra stamp set, kind of how it plays in. And then I'm just going to put some Wink of Stella on these little flowers. And as I look at this, it doesn't look to me anything like the card that came in the kit. And you may not be able to see the shimmer, but it's there. I'm going to put a little shimmer over there and a little shimmer there as well. So there's an alternative. All right, so let's just replay. There's one card, adorable, hardly any stamping. So you've got the borders, the sentiment, and the inside pieces. Then we've got this typewriter. When Riley did the video earlier, she kept calling it a calculator. I'm like, no, it's not a calculator, it's a typewriter. And I said, that's way before your time. She's 7.5. She has never seen a typewriter, but I have an antique one, so I'll have to pull it out for her. But I think this is adorable. I love it. And that says to say thank you, but of course you can put any sentiment inside that you want. And then here is the card from the kit. All right, so from these instructions, just like the kit's designed, we've got the inside, you are loved, with that little sprig. So the 2 stamp sets go a long way. And this is my alternate card. So, very different to me. They don't even really look like the same card. What do you think? I see some people finally jumping on. We've got a few late owls there, or night owls with Late Night Lori here. But let's go ahead and cover up my ink. If you feel like adding some comments before I sign off, feel free to do so. I'll just kind of putz a little bit. I am going to cut this layer so that I can have an inside layer for here. So again, this was the other half to the card that this was designed for. And we'll just cut that out from my old favorite deckled rectangles. All right, so this is all set for the inside now. Quick and easy. Now what I could do is, with these other stamps, I could add some little flowers in here. I don't know if I want the teapot, but just the flowers would be cute. And they're in all different colors. I think I'm going to go get my Calypso Coral. And yeah, the leaves are going to be Calypso Coral too. Let's just see how that looks. I might not like it. Well, let's just do it. We'll see what it looks like on the card. We'll put that over here. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to go get an old olive. Let's see. This is not a good tip. That must be why I have a new set. I don't think I like the leaves colored so much. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just add a little bit of green in here. I guess it doesn't look too bad. Just adds a little different shade there. All right, that'll work. All right, so we'll cover this one up. Get this out of the way. And let's go ahead and just glue that to the inside of there, and then we'll have a finished alternate. And then you don't have to use your imagination for what it might look like inside. Let's scooch that up a little bit. There we go. All right. Very different from the directions. All right, and using mostly the paper pumpkin stuff with just a few extra pieces. So this is from the dies. I used the circle die, the punch or the flowers from that add-on set as well, and just some of my own cardstock. So extra from the kit, bonus. All right, so thanks for popping in. Whether you were watching me live, Mama Juju, hey, how's it going? I'm just getting ready to sign off. So catch the replay if you're bored. I did mention earlier that I'm going to be releasing videos probably tomorrow. My granddaughter crafted with me. She did a couple of these cards earlier. She didn't finish all of them, so yeah. Oh snap, right? I came on about 11:25 my time, Central Time. So I just went through this paper pumpkin kit and I made an alternate. So really fun kit, I think. But we're into the next month now. So it's not available. It would only be for those that are subscribers, or if I have any kits left over. So thanks for popping in. Feel free to watch that replay. Let me know what you think. And until next time, happy crafting. Hopefully you've got another live maybe with Pam or whoever else, or your live. I'm not sure when your lives are scheduled for, but I will catch you next time, sometime tomorrow. All right, have a good night.